The contents which we are going to discuss about the topics are: first one, the introduction to transaction processing; second one, the transaction and system concepts; third one, the desirable properties of the transactions; fourth point, the characterizing schedules based on recoverability; then fifth point is characterizing schedules based on serializability. And last topic we are discussing about the transaction support in SQL. These are the contents which we are learning in this video lecturing. Now the first topic is introduction to a transaction processing. Basically, the transaction processing concepts which comes into picture when there is a communication held between the client and as well as server. For example, when a user will be transferring the data, so from the bank system, so from one account to another account, so these kind of situation we can call it as a transactions. There are different set of transactions are undergoing when we want to transfer amount from one account to another account. This type of transactions will be held, or the process will be done by using a database processing system. So in this, so transaction processing system, in the introductory part we are learning about the transaction, read operation, write operation, and as well as with an example we are discussing what is the transaction, how the database process will undergoes for this to complete these transactions. Point 1 is the transaction. The transaction can be defined: it is an executing program or a process that includes one or more database access operations. That is, we can call it as transactions. So in the transaction, there are different types of operations are undergoing. First operation is read operation. The read operation is nothing but retrieve the data from the database which is already stored in the database. By using a SQL command such as select is a one of the example. By using this command, we can retrieve the data from the database. This retrieval process we are calling it as a read operation. Then second operation is write operation. The write operation is nothing but we are modifying or updating or deleting the data from the database. So such as when we want to insert a new element into the table or into the data, so the data into the database, in that case we are using a SQL command, we can call it as insert. And update is nothing but this is also one of the write operation example where we are modifying the existing data. And the so one more operation which comes under the write operation, that is delete, where so we are deleting the element or a value from the database. These type of operations are included under the write operation, where we are doing some modifications for the existing database. Then the third process or transaction process where the transaction the word will comes, that is the transaction is nothing but it is one of the logical unit of the data processing, where the data will be interacting with the user interface, and as well as according to the request the data will be fetching, and then data will be displaying and data will be storing. So whatever the operations or request will be coming from the client to server or server to client, with respect to that the transactions will be undergoing, that we are calling it as, it is one of the logical unit of the database processing. That is about three operations which are undergoes under the transaction processing, that is read operation, write operation, and transactions. So with example I can explain this, what is a total transaction processing. Let us consider a bank balance where we are transfer of $100 from checking account to a saving account in the database, that is banking database. In that case, so there are so many number of transactions are undergoes, that is we are calling it as a, each execution of a program in a distinct transactions with a different parameter so will be undergoing. That is, when the bank transfers a program parameter from one account to another account, that is checking account to a saving account, then so we require a saving account number, we require a checking account number, and we require a transfer amount. These are all some of the parameter. By using these parameter we are transferring the data from one account to another account. So to do this, so we are calling it as a transaction processing. This total process where we are reading the data, that is for example we are going to identifying the current account and as well as checking account and saving account numbers, and as well as we are going to read the value of transfer amount, and then so we will going to store the data from one account to another account, and we are deleting a value from the either saving account or to checking account, or from the checking account to saving account, and then so we are doing transactions or transferring the amount from one account to another account. These kind of transactions so will be held in the database. So that is we are calling it as transaction processing. The once again, so the definition of a transaction is, it is an executing program or a process that includes one or more data access operations. Either I told the access operations are nothing but either read operation or write operation, or a different set of data processing operations are involved in this transaction processing. A transaction is nothing but, so it is a set of operations. So when there is a set of operations need to be performed sequentially one after another. So in the standalone, so the specified in a high level language like SQL, that is submitted interactively. For example, I am telling, so we are using a higher level programming language where we are embedded our SQL. So that SQL language will be executed internally and it will going to interact with the database. So that is a one point, and another point is that it also consists of the database operations which are embedded within a program, like the operations might be a select operator or update operator or delete operator or modify operators. There are different set of operations which are embedded within a program. Based on the operation the program will executes, and then it supports to do the uh, respective operation. That is what we are calling it as a transaction is nothing but it is a set of operations one after another. So we according to the program which are embedded inside the high level coding which will going to executes. So each and every transaction will be having a boundaries. That boundaries can be defined in a two-way manner. One is begin transaction and second one is end transaction. The begin transaction will indicates that so the start of the transaction from at that point, and the end transaction indicates that the closing of the client server communication where the transaction will be completed. So an application program may contain a several transactions which are separated by begin and end. Means the each and every application programs will consist of the several transactions. Those transaction or each and every transactions which includes or starts with the begin command, and it will also ends with the end command. So in that fashion the transactions will be done by using these two begin and as well as end commands. Next is we are discussing about the transaction processing system. The transaction processing system, in short form, we can call it as TPS. When there is a large multi-user database systems supporting the thousands of concurrent transactions per minute. So this concurrent transaction per minute will be supported by the database whenever a multi-users are interacting with the database, either to fetch the data or to store the data into the database. So that concurrency transaction need to be managed. That concurrency transactions will be managed in two way, that is two modes of concurrency transactions will be held. First one is interleaved processing and second one is parallel processing. What is the meaning of interleaved processing? The interleaved processing is nothing but when concurrency execution of process is interleaved in a single CPU one after another, whenever the time will be permits, it will keep on executing concurrently. But in case of parallel processing, the processes are concurrently executed in multiple CPUs. But in case of interleaved processing, a single CPU will execute all the process by interleaving with by interleaving with each other. Like how many number of processes are created, with respect to that, the concurrency execution will be taken up in the single CPU, that is in the interleaved processing. But in case of parallel processing, there are multiple CPUs are there, the process will be concurrently execute the multiple transactions. But basically the transaction process theory will going to assumes that interleaved concurrency, so transaction systems. This figure will going to depicts about the interleaved process and as well as parallel processing of concurrency transactions, where so here you can see, so this particular part, so we're going to show you this will be executed by a single process where from T1 to T2, so where A is executed and then so concurrently B will also executes and A will also executes and then B, like that. So by interleaving with each and every process within a single CPU which will going to executes. But in case of this, so the same, so when we will come to the parallel processing where n number of CPU will execute the different set of process, that is nothing but multiple CPU will going to execute the concurrent transactions. For example, C is there, D is there, A will be there, F will be there. Those are all we can call it as the concurrent transactions which are executed parallelly with the different CPUs. That is the major difference between interleaved processing and as well as parallel processing of a concurrent transactions. For a transaction processing purpose, a simple database model is used. Means whenever we are doing some transactions, so that transactions will be done so by using a simple database model. What is meant by a database? All of us know that a database is nothing but it is a collection of named data items. The named data items are nothing but the size is very important, the database item size. Therefore, the granularity of a data item so is nothing but the size of the data item. Based on the size of the data item, a field or a value or a record or a whole disk block, we can call it as a data item. So total the transaction processing concepts are there that are all independent of the size of the data item. Why? Because so whatever the amount of data, so we want to transfer from the source to destination or destination to source. So in that case, the granularity so will not, it is a totally independent of the concepts for the transaction processing system. But basically the transaction processing system so concentrates on the item of X. So what are all the operations we were applying, and then what type of item X is existing, so that will be matters. First one is there are basically two types of operations are there. One is read operation and second one is write operation. So that with respect to the data item, we are calling it as a read item of X and write item of X, where X indicates that a data item. So the read item of X is nothing but it will going to read a database item named X into a program variable. That is, we can simplify our notations. We assume that the program variable is also named as a X. Means just read item of X is indicates that so where the database item named X which will go into a programmable variable manner we are using. The write item of X, similarly, to write the value of a program variable X into the database item named X. So in that case we are using this operation, that is write of item X and as well as read of item X. These are the two operations which will be performed during the transaction processing. Read and write operation. How the steps will be followed. So for the reading of the item from the database and as well as writing an item into the database. The basic unit of data transfer from the disk to the computer main memory is one of the disk block or a whole page. That is, so what we are calling it as a basic unit of the data transfer from disk to the main memory. A data item X, so where we are reading the data or writing the data into the database, will usually be the field of some record in the database. Although it may be a large unit such as a whole record or even a whole block. That is where we are performing our read operation or a write operation. Means basic idea is nothing but where we are going to read the value which is a larger unit which is in the form of whole record or else which is in the form of whole block, either a disk block or one disk block. The data item we are going to read from the database or else the data item where we are writing the data into the database. Now in depth and detail we will learn how this read operation will be performed along with the write operation. Now in the last slide we have seen that read of item X, where so we are reading the data item X from the database. So that is nothing but we are passing this command read item of X command, which will include the following steps. First one is step 1, where first what it will do means it will going to find the address of the disk block where the item X is contains. That particular disk block address will going to identify. After identifying, we are going to copy that whole disk block into a buffer in the main memory, and after that we are copying that item X from the buffer to the program variable where we are named X. This is the function or steps we will going to follow whenever we are reading an item X from the database. I'll repeat. Step 1, how this operation will going to perform. When we will specify this command read item of X, first it will going to identify the address of the disk block where this item X is contains, and then so we are going to copy the whole disk block so into the buffer in main memory, and then so we are copying that item X so from the buffer to the program variable where named as a X. This is the steps we will follow, or command which will going to execute these many steps when we will be specifying a command read item of X. Now similarly we will see how this write item of X command will works, and what are all the steps are included under this write item of X. So first it finds the address of the disk block which contains item X, and then after identifying the address of the disk block, so which will going to copy that disk block into the buffer in a main memory, and after that it copy the item X from the program variable named X into its correct location in the buffer where we want to write, and then so we store the updated block from the buffer back to the disk, either immediately manner or at some later point in time. So we are updating the block so from that buffer back to the disk. These are the four steps or operations which we will perform during the write item of X command is executed. Now, so in this slide, we are discussing about the transaction notations. How these read and write transaction notations, we are actually representing it into a process manner. So basically, the figure will shows the two examples of the transactions. Here there are T1 and T2 are the sample transactions, so which has been shown where read item of X, where X will get updating, like X will be X equal to X minus N, and we are writing the item X, and we are once again we are doing a second transaction where we are reading the item of Y, and we are updating the value of Y where Y equal to Y plus N. Once again after updating we are returning it back to the data of our data item of Y into the database, that is write item of Y. And similarly when we will go to the transaction T2 where we are reading the item of X and we are updating the read item which is X equal to X plus M. After updating, once again we are storing that data element into the database by applying a write item of X operation. So like these are the transactions or sample transactions, how these transaction notations will be represented. So notations will basically focus on the read item and as well as write operations, and these read and write operation notations we can also write in the shorthand notations manner, so where it is displayed here T1. T1 indicates that so transaction 1, and T2 indicates that transaction 2, where transaction 1 so we have given a B1 and B2, so we are representing, so then so that is nothing but beginning of the transaction B1 and B2, and end of the transactions will be represented by using E1 and E2. So B1 so that is begin of the transaction, after so begin of the transaction execution then R1 will going to read the item X, and then W1 will going to write the item of X. Similarly, so R1 of Y will read the item of Y so from the database, and then W1 of Y will write the item into the database and then end the transaction of E1. So similarly the transaction T2 so will starts by mentioning B2, where B2 indicates that begin of the transaction, and then so the R2 will going to read the item of Y from the database, and then so W2 stands for write the item of Y. After complete updating the value or some of the operations performing, we need to store the value of Y so into the database. and then we will be completing the execution by specifying the command, that is E2, that is exit the command or end the command. So these are the some of the notations which we are using for the transactions.